Yeah, I've been meaning to say we owe the people of March 2000 an apology. How much fun we made of that era, like in 2002. And the one everybody always pointed to was like pets.com, and they'd have little pets.com sock puppet. Like, oh, I can't believe how crazy people were. No, we owe everybody back then an apology, because even at the loftiest peaks of the internet bubble, it was the apotheosis of intelligence and discernment and wise investing compared to what we're seeing these days. Because, pets.com, that's the big ha ha ha. Delivering pet products to people's houses, that's not a terrible business. Look at Chewy. They're a thriving public company. It's not insane. So shame on all of us for daring to make fun of 2000, because they are smart compared to what's going on today. What do people do today? We laugh at pets.com. We invest in Fartcoin, and all the way up to Bitcoin and all the rest of it. So yeah, sorry, 2000. We got you beat. Although today we are trimming some of that off. It's got a little mini meltdown feel going on right now. Things were green as required by federal law early today, but now that we're past the holiday season, not that we don't have constant holidays still, but we're getting economic reports again. And a couple came out, which on the surface actually looked pretty good. More job openings and stronger industrial production, but the market began to cough and wheeze, and it's been kind of falling ever since most of the day. The reports came out half an hour into the trading day. So at the moment, the ES is down almost 70, the NQ is down almost 400. Weirdly, because I'm honest with you, I'm not a deceitful chartist. I'm always a bear, you know me. Yesterday, the market went up, and I made money. Today, the market's getting greened. I'm actually down a little bit. Why? Well, these dang oil things, because oil producers and the miners are being annoyingly robust. So that's taken the wind out of my sails today. But you know what? I'm going full amateur, full greenhorn. The higher those things go, the more puts I'm buying, because they're great patterns. So I've been doing the classic neophyte averaging down on those, because they're good patterns. And they'll wake up. They'll realize at some point they should be going down, not up. I have charts for you. And it's more fun if we look at them together, so let's do that. And let's go to candlestick mode here. Well, the spider. The lifetime high on this was way back over a month ago, early in December. And today's the biggest red bar we've had for months, with the exception of this one critter. And we got a bearish engulfing pattern today, and we basically opened at the high and we're trading at the low right now, which is my kind of day. My favorite color, red. So that's looking pretty good, although nothing core has broken yet. The first little thing that needs to break, of course, is the midline to this channel. We're working on it. The two bears left on the planet are. The cubes, ooh-wee, was this beautiful yesterday? You and I looked at this together. Look at that. Yesterday's high, just kissing the trend line goodbye, the underside of it. It's a broken trend line, so it represents resistance now instead of support. And today, the price action really affirms the value of that, because we've got not only yesterday's beautiful tag of the trend line, but a big old fat honking bearish engulfing pattern. So huzzah. This is contemporaneous, of course, and there's no surprise with Jensen Huang with his tattoo and his black leather jacket going on stage yesterday and talking for half an hour about how great Nvidia is, which goosed the stock to a lifetime high, approaching $4 trillion. What used to be a niche graphics game card maker, now almost a $4 trillion company. And he's talking robots, and he's talking AI, and he's talking about every person having their own personal supercomputer. And the market just gobbled it up. As we know, good contrarians that you and I both are, that's the perfect time to go bearish on it, because everyone went ape over what he was saying. The stock market, the Nvidia stock went sky high, and then it just started like selling off. And we'll look at that in a sec. But that's an important element of what's been going on with the cubes. Quick peek at Bitcoin. The bloom is again off the rose. This has been just lurching up and down for weeks and weeks and weeks here. About 98,000 plus or minus 8,000 in either direction. It's just been vaulting here and there. It's neither here nor there really until such time as it breaks below 90,000. A MicroStrategy in turn down almost 12% on the day, and it too is just kind of at the mercy of whatever Bitcoin does. Back to Nvidia, down almost $9. Monster bearish engulfing pattern. And I'll just pause for a sec. What do I mean by that? Some of you might not know. It's just a very simple candlestick term, meaning that today's body, which is all this, completely engulfs, gobbles up yesterday's body, which is this pipsqueak little thing. That's all it means. It tends to be bearish, but candlesticks by their nature are very short-term instruments. But yeah, today, lifetime high, and yet we're trading now where we're trading in mid-October. How about that? As Elon would say, let that sink in. Lifetime high today, never more valuable, almost $4 trillion. And at the moment, just a few hours later, we're trading where we were in mid-October. So lots of announcements, lots of excitement, lots of news, and ain't done nothing. ARM, which I'm so disgusted with, I just don't touch anymore, reversing yesterday's gains. AMD, which I do touch. In fact, I touched a little bit more this morning. This is down thanks to Nvidia. We've got a bearish engulfing on this, and this is down about 1 2/3%. I was already long puts on this, but I bought more early today. And SMH is also aided by Nvidia. This one got deliciously close to the underbelly of its own broken trend line, and is also a bearish engulfing pattern. The beautiful topping pattern is kaput. This is just a big fat mess at this point. It was ruined yesterday when we just vaulted higher thanks to Jensen's speech. I vaulted higher like so. So yeah, no position there. AMD's about it. And we just keep selling. Isn't that weird? We're kind of in an interregnum period right now. I imagine when the new administration comes in, they'll fall all over themselves, try to prop things up, maybe give everybody $10,000 to buy stocks. But at the moment, we've got 13 days until the new powers that be show up. So a little bit of organic trading for the moment. As far as stocks goes, you can see here too how this is sort of wrecked. We've got the symmetric triangle. It was just fine for the longest time when it started forming way back in July. But yesterday, thanks to Jensen, we jumped out of that. So it's just a big old fat mess now. The whole quantum thing is still cooking, but looking a little bit tired. Here's Qubit, QUBT, very cool ticker symbol actually, because that's what they call bits in the quantum world, qubits. But after this explosive move, it has just been like wiggling its way like a dying red rubber ball. Lower and lower volatility there. And Rigetti, which no one in the world had heard of 2 months ago, now everybody's trading. This is off a little bit. Lifetime high yesterday, just kind of grinding away the same spot. The heat is still on these things. Axon, which I mentioned yesterday, this is one of the this one is particularly celebratory stocks after the election, continues to fall. It's down almost $11 on the day, below that cool little topping pattern. And then Alex Karp, but a friend of the administration, seeing his Palantir continue to sink. We peaked on this at about $85. We're barely at 70 now. And I saw one young man yesterday put his entire portfolio at yesterday's prices, his entire portfolio into long $100 January 31 calls. He will not see that money again. I'm highly confident. But yeah, over on WSB. Some other odds and ends in short land. Uber Technologies. I got puts on this yesterday. It was looking ugly this morning. We opened quite strong, but we're got another bearish engulfing there, so that's looking pretty good on Uber. Cracker Barrel. I had mentioned this one recently, and I went ahead this morning either this morning or yesterday, I can't quite remember, but at pretty good prices. Got into Cracker Barrel puts following this ascent up to the last reversal pattern. Crocs got a few days ago. This one's down a little bit, and you can see here this is the third instance in recent years of a nice clean top. And don't let the P, if the P is like 7, but I still like the pattern. And then Royal Caribbean, which has been the nemesis to me for so long, finally behaving itself, breaking down below this support. So at least I'd like to seal up the election gap, maybe take partial profits then. As I mentioned, the world of things you can touch, like crude oil and gold, has been a little vexing to me today. But hanging in there, here's GDX. Got a shooting star on this one. Head and shoulders still in place. You know, it's not perfect. We've intruded a little bit into that topping zone, but it's good enough to keep fingers crossed and see if it works out. No nasty violations there. And, you know, we're near the lows of the day, so that helps. Of all my positions, these are the two most annoying ones. But as I said, rookie move here. I've been buying more puts. BP, this is the 11th day. It just keeps going up and up and up and up and up, like so. Green bar after green bar after green bar. But I like that top. And these are my shortest dated puts. This is the only one where I've got April's. Everything else is typically June or further out than that. But yeah, there's BP, having another good day. And then COP, also green day, although not quite as brutal as BP, but same kind of topping pattern there. Home builders, we've talked about how high this had reached with respect to its own channel, and this is continuing to break down. I mean, we peaked on this not long ago. It was only about Thanksgiving. We were around 125. We're threatening 100 at this point, so we've lost about 20% in that short span of time. So that worked out. Next Era Energy, also interest sensitive. This one breaking down a little more than 1%, and who knows, maybe we can complete this pattern here, breaking below that dashed green line. But it's all being driven by interest rates, because bonds just keep plunging. We are in the 5th year of the bond bear market. How I wish I could say that for stock. Wouldn't it be cool? This is the 5th year for stocks bear market. But it seems like science fiction. You can't get 5 days, but bonds 5 years grinding lower. And you know, forget anything. How many times will the Fed drop rates this year? How about 0? You know, the conversation should be how many times will they raise rates? That'll excite Trump, don't you think? Yeah, forget about it. Look at bonds. Interest rates are going up. Inflation's heating up. Ain't gonna be no cuts. Those cuts were performative. They will be reversed. So yeah, bonds are still grinding away. Lastly, the NASDAQ 100, just to wrap things up, clean as a whistle. This is the NDX. Yesterday, picture perfect. If I had a little more fortitude, I would have bought puts on cubes yesterday, but I don't. Maybe some of you did, but we're reversing away hard from that. So really cool stuff.